admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. We got to keep this genre alive. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore.
We can talk about how celebrities are too fragile and conceited to accept that somebody has an opinion, which is my hot take, and some sane people agree with me on this, but this is not what this is really about. It's about how what Timothée Chalamet said isn't really wrong. With the rise of AI and short-form content, art as we know it in the past century has been radically changing, and a lot of people have built their lives and careers around dying forms of art, which some could argue that 2D animation falls under that category. I mean, I'm a frame-by-frame animator, and I can see that that kind of animation has been declining for years, despite some of the amazing projects that has been coming out recently. But the truth is, it's expensive, slow, and harder to compete with the kind of quick, disposable content that people consume now. The same way that going to the ballet or opera costs 10 to 20 times more than going to the movies. So it's labeled as it's for you if you can afford it. All Chalamet really said that he doesn't want to be someone trying to keep an art form alive. And honestly, who can blame him? Especially on the point that Vanity Fair pointed out. For what it's worth, Chalamet comes from a dance family. His grandmother, mother, and sister all perform with the New York City Ballet. Some believe this makes Chalamet's remarks sting even more, but isn't it more reasonable to believe that Chalamet mentioned ballet because he's intimately familiar with how that art form has, more or less, been left behind by society? And I think that's a very crucial point to highlight. But the irony is that with the rise of AI, actors might end up being the next group fighting to keep their art form alive. Although probably never to the same degree, because cinema is one of the few art forms that has consistently succeeded in modernizing its medium. Which begs the question, what actually keeps an art form alive? Passion, audience, or money?